The first session we saw was what is spirituality and how do we enrich ourselves. The second session was how do we act spiritually? How do we act? How do we work? What kind of nature, if we bring out, it constitutes a spiritual action. So we had seen Mukta Sangaha, Anahamvadi, Triti Utsaha Samanvitaha, Siddhya Siddhyor Nirvikaraha, Karta Sattvika Uchyate. So you can see the verse, I am not going to, it's in 18th chapter, I think verse number 26. Yes, verse number 26. Today, we will take a topic, Tapaha, Tapas. When we hear Tapas, usually what comes to our mind is somebody who is standing on one leg. Because in the TV and all, the serials and all, this is how they show. And one who's putting his hand and not eating and slowly stops. Even taking food, water, and then he breathes and then the whole place gets heated up. And then the Devatas go and meet Lord Shiva or Vishnu, and then, that's how they very dramatically explain. The word tapaha, it means to heat. Comes the root ta, which means to heat. And what is this heat meant for? This heat is meant for removing the impurities. Tapasa kalmasham hanti. It's a very famous line. Tapasa kalmasham hanti. By tapas, the impurities are taken away. So, when we speak of tapas and tapas removing the impurities where? Impurities where? See, throughout the day, every moment of our life, as long as we are in the waking state, we keep on receiving impulses, inputs. Not through our senses, through our mind, we gather impulses. And as we gather impulses, we also are made to act. We receive inputs and then we act. So there is a continuous information, action. And this constitutes our life. Actually, how they define life in, we have studied, biology, small, when we are young people, also, young students also, life was defined as a nature of living whereby we respond to impulses. They say life. What is life? Life is, they say, how do you check whether life is there? When there is response to stimuli, they say life is there. So response to stimuli. So there is a stimuli always barging on, whether we want it or not. There's a continuous barrage of impulses coming, inputs coming, and stimuli coming, and all the while we have to act. But usually instead of act, what happens? React happens. Am I communicating? So impulses come and then we have to react. So for example, somebody comes and tells you something. That's an input coming. Now many times we just burst into some kind of action. Now, through all these impulses and then our reaction, a lot of mistakes happen. Lot of needless errors happen. Because we are using certain instruments to function which are used to a certain kind of reaction. And very rarely we are able to modulate, correct, work at, carefully think before we react. And therefore, lot of unnecessary difficulties all come up in all these things. And these natural defects in the responses that we offer, these are the what is called as the dirt. If we can somehow wash this dirt and then rightly act and not react, that methodology which enables this is called tapas. I told too many things. Let me say in a very short way. We respond to stimuli. There are certain defects in these instruments with which we respond to stimuli. If we clean away those defects in the instruments with which we respond to stimuli, that is good. And that method by which we make this possible is called tapas. Is it clear or? Swamiji, not very clear, but somehow clear. Yes, I understand. Because I have not told you what are the instruments which would react. We get inputs through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, etc., etc. Or some mind also we think. But the instruments with which we act in the world are usually three. The subtlest of it is the mind. The second is through our speech, manasa, vacha. And third is through our physical action itself, karmana. So the three instruments through which we respond to stimuli is the mind, the speech, the body. And there is a certain conditioning with which the speech, the mind and the body usually react. Conditioning, it is used to respond in a particular way, it does that. Okay. So somebody, for example, used to speaking loud. Somebody used to speak very soft. Somebody is used to not speak at all. So the response to stimuli varies also. Now, is there a way in which we can perfect this body, speech and mind? That process by which we perfect is called tapas. Okay? The process we perfect our body, speech and mind so that they perfectly, rightly interact with the world outside. That process, that method of perfection is called tapas. This tapas perfects the instruments. Okay? So can I just say in one line? Tapas cleanses the dirt and perfects the instruments for functioning rightly. Okay? Have I communicated well? What is tapas? Tapas is the method by which we perfect our body, our speech, our mind, so that the responses are bettered. The responses are right. And we do not respond in our usual conditioned way, but rather we respond in the right way. This method is called tapas. I remember long back when I was a very young boy studying in my 11th standard. Hmm. So I had just come from Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmaya's camp on Viveka Chudamani in Siddhawari, Himachal Pradesh. One of our senior monks of the Chinmaya mission, now he is no more there, Swami Purushottam, he was conducting a camp in Uttarkashi on Mandukya Upanishad. So I wanted to go for that camp. Then what I did was, since I'm going to the Himalayas, Uttarkashi is after Rishikesh. Then I thought that in these Himalayas and all, they do tapas. So I should also do some tapas. So I went to Swamiji. See, 11th standard boy, not even mustache has come properly. So I went to Gurudev. Swamiji was having food. Then I went to Swamiji and said, Swamiji, I'm going to Uttarkashi. I'm going to attend Mandukya Upanishad camp of Swami Purushottam. Yes. Encouraging a small boy. Good, very good. Swamiji, what tapas I should do there? Just looked at me. Small fellow. What tapas? And he said very nicely, keep your mind where your hand is. Keep your mind where your hand is. Now we are all listening. Sometimes the mind just goes off. Yes? And then you bring it back. Keep your mind where your hand is. That is also tapas. Well, I'm going to speak about tapas based on what the Bhagavad Gita says, where you'll find what Swamiji said also comes here. Bhagavad Gita in chapter 17th chapter, 14th, 15th and 16th. 14, 15, 16, 3 verses. He speaks about tapas at 3 levels. At the level of the physical body, at the level of the speech, at the level of the mind. Okay? 14th, 15th and 16th. So shall we see those verses? I will chant, you please repeat. It is a very easy verse, but we can chant. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucha Marjavam Brahmacharya Mahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. This is called as tapas at the physical level. So, what is tapas at the physical level? It gives 5 points. One is pujanam. Second is shaucham. Third is arjavam. Fourth is brahmacharyam. Fifth is ahimsa. At every level it gives 5 things. Okay? Now, when it says pujanam, physical level, at the very, very physical level. So what it says is that Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Of course, nothing can happen just physically. Mind should be involved, no doubt, but there's a physical expression. The physical expression, it says Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Worship of Deva, Dvija, Guru and Prajna. Now, worship of Deva, usually we go to a temple, we offer worship. Of course, see, mental is always involved, but that is also a kind of tapas. It has a very calm, quietening effect on the mind also. Dvija. Dvija, the word Dvija means twice born. Twice born. So what is the meaning of twice born? The word Dvija is also used for bird. Bird is also twice born. Why bird is twice born? Because one time it is born as a egg, and second time it is comes out of the egg. It's for twice born. There are two births we can have. One is the birth that we have from our parents. Second is a birth when we are purified by knowledge, when we are purified by spiritual practices. So when it is said Dvija, twice born, it refers to somebody who has purified himself or herself by spiritual practices. So somebody, we see a person who is spiritually evolved with spiritual practices and all those things. Then one of the tapas is offering respect to such a person. That is also tapas. Guru. Guru refers to teacher. So a teacher comes, then there's a particular, when a teacher is there's a particular way we behave. We don't, certain etiquette we follow. This is also tapas. Prajna. Prajna refers to a person of spiritual knowledge and wisdom. With Dvija, we refer to somebody with spiritual practice. And by prajna, we refer to somebody with spiritual wisdom. Now, with that person also, how do we behave? Usually we get up, we offer our respect in a particular way. So all this pujanam, a sense of very exalted behavior in their presence, that also purifies the mind. That also is a purification. And second, shaucham. Shaucham is purity. By purity, cleanliness. The body to be, many times, when we think of spirituality, often we think of very, I have met some kind of, spiritual seekers who in the name of spirituality, absolutely very dirty, long nails, not cleaned, not even taken, smelling, body smelling, spiritual seeker. I don't care. That is not spirituality in the truest sense. Shaucham. Cleanliness. It's often repeated statement and a cliche, cleanliness is next to godliness. I do not know why it should be next to godliness. Cleanliness is way to godliness. Shaucham. Arjavam. See, these words are clear. First is pujanam. Pujanam is worship. Then shaucham. Shaucham is cleanliness. Arjavam. Arjavam is what is right, what is wrong, what we know as right and wrong, aligning ourselves to that. Arjavam means being straight. Being straight here means what? Aligning to what is to be done and what is not to be done. We know it is to be done, we align ourselves and we do it. We know something is not to be done, we align ourselves to that and we don't do it. Small children, we teach them. As soon as you get up, the child, starts playing here and there, goes about here and there. The mother catches the child and says, "Hey, did you brush your teeth?" Says, no, I want to eat this, no, first go brush your teeth, then you do everything else. Now the child is made to align physically to what is the right thing to be done. Now in the same way, the mother is there telling the child to align. We as people who have gained in our course of life what should be done, what should not be done, we align ourselves to that. We physically align ourselves to that also. Mental is also involved, but physically also we align ourselves in our actions to what must be done, what must not be done at the level of the actions. So that makes it physical. Okay, pujanam, shaucham, arjavam. Next is brahmacharyam. The word brahmacharyam refers at different contexts to different things. For example, brahmacharyam literally means celibacy. In the student life, celibacy. Grihastha life, celibacy in the sense that one is with wife and that becomes celibacy. And as a sannyasi and vanaprastha, celibacy is in a different sense, right? Celibacy refers to one aspect of control, right? Because everything is energy. Dissipation of energy is a loss of energy which we can use for what we want to do, right? But celibacy, brahmacharya, when we say, and we look at one aspect of it called celibacy, but really speaking, it is all our senses also keeping them in control. This is just in Sanskrit we call upalakshana, one for many things. So when I overeat, that is also loss of celibacy to one level. Or when sometimes they watch movies and all, Saturday, Sunday and all, non-stop. Movie 1 over, movie 2, movie 3. By the time movie 3 is going on, you're sleeping. Watch one more, movie 4, because you decided to watch 6 movies today. That is absence of brahmacharya. Our Swamiji used to say very nicely, smoke, but let not the smoke smoke you. Meaning, have a sense of control over everything. That is brahmacharya. And next is ahimsa. Ahimsa is not harming. People just walk, and then there's what they say, all the, they have a kind of fence, made of plants and all. Here also we have, what they call? There's a name for that, no? Huh? All the hedge. People walk on the hedge. Huh? Have you seen? Sometimes they put the hand like that, and by the time they go there, so many leaves they have finished it off. Somebody sits down, and that poor grass, it did nothing. Pull it from that, put in the mouth, eat it, chew it, throw it. Why are you doing all those things? See how minimal damage you can do to the world around you. Jivo jivasya jivanam. But see how much, what is unnecessarily don't harm. Now these are all disciplines at the level of the physical, which enables you to perfect your physical instrument, to cleanse your physical instrument. Remember, it has connection to the mind. Physical is not just physical, it's all connected. It cleanses your personality. Through the physical level, you cleanse your personality. That is the meaning of physical. Okay, now that is the physical. Now we go to the level of speech. Shall I just summarize what are the 5 things? Number 1, pujanam, worship. In other words, worship of people with knowledge, people who are elders, people who are our teachers, people who love, care, and are one with us in our life. That is pujanam. Next is shaucham, cleanliness. Third is arjavam, alignment with what is dharma and what is adharma, with do's and don'ts. Then brahmacharyam. Then afterwards ahimsa. Now going to the level of speech, that's the second level. Let us see the verse. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. Vangmayam tapa uchyate. This is tapas at the level of speech. Really speaking, what Bhagavan Shri Krishna is telling is, he's telling what all you can do to perfect yourself. Here at speech level, he says, vakyam, speech, the words that we utter. Tapas at the level is speech which is anudvegakaram. Udvega is what you call kind of irritation, that which perturbs, udvega. Anudvega, a speech which is not creating any unnecessary kind of hurt and pain, udvega. Satyam, the speech which is true. Priyam, the speech which is dear, which is very pleasant. And hitam, a speech which is good, which is beneficial. Now, we can either say our speech can either be truth, or our speech can be either, very pleasant. But to combine all of them together, a speech which is not causing pain, a speech which is true, a speech which is pleasant to hear, and a speech which is also good to the other person. Now this is a challenge. They say satyam vada, priyam vada, hitam vada, mitam vada. Satyam vada, say the truth. But say the truth in such a way it is pleasant. Priyam vada. But not just priyam, but say it so that it is beneficial. It helps other person. And then also say it not as a gush. Say it mitam. Mitam means moderately. See the other person, how much the person is taking in what you're talking, and say it in a level the person can take it, accept it. Not that you want to say and then you have done it. Now, to have a speech like this, everything put together, it is a challenge. Satyam vada, priyam vada, hitam vada, mitam vada. Now, this is tapas. One cannot just mechanically say whatever one wants. One is to say, another is to respond to whatever other person says. Say, but say it in such a way it doesn't pain. Say it in such a way it is pleasant to hear. Say it truth, and say it moderately. This becomes tapas at the level of speech. Also, swadhyaya abhyasanam. Swadhyaya abhyasanam is the abhyasa. Abhyasa is a practice. The practice of what one, usually it refers to the scriptural text like Vedas and all. Right? We have a system where every day one chants a portion of the Veda, or one has some scriptural text which one chants. In Kerala, I have seen very nicely, every day evening they have a lamp lit up in the evening, and then Harinama Kirtana and all those things, they sit and, now all these things are speech are tapas at the level of speech. This purifies your speech. It removes the imperfections from the speech. It's very challenging. Try doing this. Many times you will feel that better not to talk now. If I say now, this fellow will get hurt. No, do it, talk it, speak now. Think and speak. What can you say in such a way the person will not feel hurt? Or sometimes the other person comes and tells us something horrible and we want to give them peace of our mind. Now, okay, you want to give you a peace of your mind, perfectly okay, but how are you going to say that? This becomes the heating up of the speech organ to remove its imperfections so that it comes out perfectly. So here you have at the level of speech 4 things. Anudvegakaram, satyam, priyam, hitam. Speech should be like this. And then 5th one is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, the daily regular chanting of the scriptural texts that has an effect on the mind itself also. Through the speech, we approach the personality. As one chants, as one reads, certain things start happening also.
It brings in. All right. So this is tapas at the level of speech. Now tapas at the level of the mind, the third one. 5 points more again here. Shall we read the verse? Manah prasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapo manasa muchyate. This is manasa tapas. What is manasa tapas? Tapas at the level of the mind. Manah prasada. A cheerful mind. One of the, again reminded of one anecdote of Swamiji. So one brahmachari went and asked Swamiji, Swamiji, what can I do for you? Swamiji said, just smile. Just smile. The greatest gift we can offer somebody is to smile. And you cannot smile if you are not cheerful within. Yes, you can smile if you are an air hostess also. That is a different thing. You're trained to do that. But a true smile, a genuine smile of welcome is something which is the greatest decoration on your face. Nothing more than that. Manah prasada. Cheerfulness at the mind. Prasada, prasannata. Saumyatvam. Saumyatvam is the pleasantness. One is cheerfulness. Saumyatvam is pleasantness of the mind. Not continuously worrying, thinking, being anxious, non-stop planning out how to hurt somebody. That is the worst way to trouble the mind. How to hurt somebody you plan out. Saumyat, being pleasant inwardly. That is the second one. Third is maunam. Usually when we hear the word maunam, we think not speaking, is it not? But here maunam is munehe bhavaha. It is a state of a muni. Muni is what? Muni comes from the word root man, who thinks, reflects. Meaning, a person takes up an issue and goes to the end of the issue in thought. He reflects about a matter in full precision. That is called maunam. Ekagrataya tattva chintanam. With a single pointed mind, inquiring into forgetting clarity. Maunam. And then Atma Vinigraha. Atma Vinigraha is an ability to still the mind. Okay? There are sometimes we require to quieten the mind. To keep the mind still. Mind, that's enough. Shut up. That is also tapas. When you can tell the mind shut up and the mind shuts up, that is tapas. Atma Vinigraha. And above all, fifth one, bhava samshuddhi. Bhava samshuddhi is purity of intentions. Intentions are pure. And such people are always loud. However much the other person smiles and says, this, that and all those things, it takes only some time for us to know, this fellow is inwardly hollow, be careful. Bhava samshuddhi. Bhava samshuddhi refers to that inner good attitude, noble intentions, wanting to truly help, genuine love, true care. All these things, many times, all these things are put in such a way for success. How to win friends and influence people. They take all these things and put it in such a way, but then they spoil the beauty of these nobilities. When you want to monetize on all good things, you really lose a lot of things in life. Everything will happen. Why are you worried? Be good. Everything will be good. For some time, it may look that being good means you're losing. You never lose. Everybody starts seeing, this is a very wonderful person. Don't tell me, Swamiji, all these things are okay for you. Our life is very different. These things carry lot of power and strength. So this is tapas at the level of the mind. At the level of the mind, what all we said? In Sanskrit, we'll say first, manah prasad. What does that mean? Cheerfulness, equipoise, equanimity. Saumyatvam, pleasantness. Maunam, a reflective mind. Maunam. Atma vinigraha, ability to shut the mind down. To quieten the mind, to calm the mind when you want. And next is purity of intentions, bhava samshuddhi. These are the 5. Tapas at the level of the mind. At the level of the speech, what is it? Speech with 4 characteristics. Number 1, not causing pain, anudvegakaram, but yet truthful. At the same time, pleasant. The words are such a way that it's pleasant. And hitam, it is beneficial. It's a great challenge. If you try speaking like that, great challenge. It's a big tapas, actually. And then the regular chanting of those scriptural texts. Swadhyaya. Some of you may chant Vishnu Sahasranama, some of you may chant, some of you would be reading a portion of the, let's say, a Bible text or a Quran or whatever. But there is a regular scriptural connection we have that helps. And when you go to Shariram Tapa, number 1, worship. Number 2, cleanliness. Cleanliness of the body as well as surroundings. Number 3, aligning oneself to what should be done and what should not be done. And then the brahmacharyam, celibacy in a larger context of all the senses, moderation. And then ahimsa, not hurting, not paining. So these constitute tapas at the physical, at the speech, at the mental level. Verses 14, 15, 16, chapter 17. Very interesting. 14, 15, 16 of 17. Shall we conclude? Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.